Good morning, Iron Horse. I'm in Mrs. Stone's room right now with a bunch of great math students. Now, is it 6, 7, and 8, or just 7, 8?
Six.
All three grades. This is the first time since I sat with PE on Friday the 13th, 2019, 2020. Our last sit down in PE where it's all different grades, but I don't think it's 6, 7, and 8 for that. So cool. This feels really good to be with a mixed group of people where the older kids are kind of role modeling and the younger kids are stepping up their game, right, Mrs. Stone? Yeah, and you're around bigger kids. I have a theory about it that you kind of step your game up. I was a head coach for 15 years at Cal High in Monte Vista and Cabrillo High School, and I really found a lot of benefit. And I didn't know it at the time, but I would teach. My teaching style, my coaching style was when, like at the state championship, there'd be like 10,000 people screaming, right? And if you get caught up in that emotion and those feelings, you kind of lose your cool. You can. And so I teach, I coach, I try to do this with you all to show you that sometimes you have a little space between your thoughts and your actions. So as we practice today, I think I'm talking a lot, but I do feel like you should explain mindfulness throughout the year, not all at once. And the way I discovered it, one of the ways was through, funny thing is, at basketball. Phil Jackson, the coach of the Chicago Bulls, won 6 championships, and he brought mindfulness to Michael Jordan. You know who Dennis Rodman was or is? He was really wild, a lot of emotional, loses cool, and he just couldn't do it. And then through mindfulness, that whole team turned around. And one of the great players on that team was Steve Kerr. A little side note, he took mindfulness to the Warriors. You may have heard about that. One of their key tenets is mindfulness, so they practice every day together. And Phil Jackson actually went to the Lakers and taught it to Kobe Bryant, whose message before he died, he was part of a huge program to try to bring mindfulness to the youth. So that was very powerful. Sorry we lost him. But that was a thing that Phil Jackson brought to Kobe and Shaq, and they won like 5 championships, maybe more, I don't even know. And you know how the Warriors are doing. And the last thing I want to leave you with, as you practice mindfulness, it's never going to be easy. It's never going to be perfect. The other night I saw for the first time Curry got a technical. He lost his cool. He got lost up in his emotions and his thoughts, and he couldn't control himself. And the ref said, if you don't do basketball, it's a really bad thing that happens when you go after, what are you doing? You're yelling or whatever. So I just wanted you to kind of know that in sports, it's very, very popular. In SATs, they highly recommend that you have a practice because you're going to be under a lot of stress. As me and Mrs. Stone know, when you take those tests, it's pretty stressful. So I like to offer that. Okay, so that was it. Now find a posture that's going to signify or let you know that, hey, we're doing this right now. So I like to push my back away from a chair. If I'm laying down on the ground, I like to try to feel as many contact points. I just kind of bring awareness to the body. I close my eyes. It's very helpful to close my eyes. And if there's resistance still, this is, I think it's maybe our 10th sit, whatever, that's okay. Of course, anytime you start something new, it's going to be hard or you're unsure of it until you start to practice it and see benefits. So don't trip if you're still not sure. So as that settling in kind of happens, we're going to bring awareness to our breath, to our body, to the noises in the room. Whatever you're choosing to train your awareness is what will hopefully give you some space between all of the constant chatter in the brain. So I've always noticed that when Mr. Fitch taught in this room and now Mrs. Stone, there's this same fan. You can hear it rattle. It's been here since I've been here. And I've been here, if you don't know me, I've been here 20-something years. Kind of an old dude. But I've always heard that fan, and I kind of focus on that, which is part of mindfulness, bringing awareness to whatever's happening around you. If somebody, is talking or making a lot of noise or breathing really heavy, that's okay. Mindfulness is never going to be perfect. It's your ability to find stillness and quiet and peacefulness in your own body that what we're trying to develop. And what I use most often is my breath. I try to notice as many things as I can about it. Where does it start? Where does it end? How does it feel in my mask? Do my ribs move? Shoulders? Has my breath gotten slower since we started? There'll be times when I'll control it. I'll breathe really slow on the out, really slow on the in. And the practice today is going to be called the noting practice. What we're going to finish with today is, as we sit quietly and a thought arises, you're just going to note it. So if you're thinking about when this is going to end, you're going to say, planning. Or if you're lost in a story about something that happened to you, you could say the past. You want to repeat it twice and try to name it. Maybe you're scared of something, you say scared, or fearful. Or you're super stoked, you say happy. When a thought arises, you're trying to note when thoughts arise. And not be judgmental about them, just noticing if they pop up. And if you catch a thought, see what it is, name it in your head. We'll do more of that because that's the basics to a good practice, is noticing that the thoughts are just thoughts. They don't define you. They're going to continually to keep popping up. And when we get lost in the thoughts and we remember that we're focusing our awareness on a video game or a math test, and you notice that thought that creeps up, maybe that you're not going to do good, and you could say judging, you could take a few breaths and come back to what you're doing. And it gives you that ability to create a space between your thoughts and your actions. Sweet. Great practice today. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you.